Mus'ab ibn Umayr radiallahu anhu, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu gave him the banner, he gave the banner for a great man, Mus'ab ibn Umayr. When he died, Mus'ab ibn Umayr, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu baka buka'an murra, he cried a lot. And this rich man, and he renounced this life to declare there's only one God and Muhammad is his messenger. When he died, his clothes was not enough to be buried in. So when Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they were always commanding him to pull his clothes down to cover his feet, his face would show up. When they pull the clothing up to cover his face, his feet would show up. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ kept it on his face and placed some kind of plantation on his feet, and he commanded him. You understand, akhi, we look for sacrifice. What have we sacrificed for the sake of Allah? What have we sacrificed for the sake of reviving the sunnah? What have we sacrificed even for the sake of da'wah? To spread this deen and lead by example so people will become Muslims, inshaAllah, because of our manners and contacts. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is now giving him a glad tiding. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving a glad tiding for 3,000 angels who will come and fight with the Muslims. And we know that the true fight of angels were only in one battle, which was known, Badr. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving the glad tiding. In tasbiru, if you have patience and piety, taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you 5,000 angels, not just 3,000, but He's وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. But victory, true victory is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is it? It's just a bushra, a glad tiding, to give you more confidence and strength. But it's not for those we are going to depend on the angels now to fight. La, wallahi, it wasn't as such. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yumahis, is testing. And now we know what truly happened. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ali Imran, وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِبَدْرٍ وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you victory in Badr. It wasn't so far off. وَأَنْتُمْ أَذِلَّةٌ. You were in a more of an inferior position. You were not prepared. Numbers or armors or even the camels or horses. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you victory after you pass the test. And again, أَلَنْ يَكْفِيكُمْ أَنْ يَمَدَّكُمُ اللَّهُ بِثَلَاثَةِ آلَافٍ. Isn't it sufficient for you that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you 3,000 of the angels? مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَ مُنَزَّلِينَ is descended down to you. بَلَى إِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا. If you practice patience and practice piety, وَيَأْتُوكُم مِّن فَوْرِكُمْ هَذَا يَمْدُدْكُم بِهِ. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala خَمْسَةِ آلَافٍ. Now it's 5,000 مِنَ الْمَلَائِكَ مُسَوَّمِينَ. وَمَا النَّصْرُ وَمَا جَعَلَهُ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بُشْرَى لَكُمْ وَتَطْمَئِنَّ قُلُوبُكُمْ. It's just to put your hearts at ease and give you the glad tiding. وَمَا النَّصْرُ إِلَّا مِنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ الْعَزِيزِ الْحَكِيمِ. And victory again is only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu saw Umar ibn Khattab, Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhuma. He was 12 years old. He wanted to come and fight. Imagine, a 12-year-old boy wanted to come and fight with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. And this was no any battle. This was a very strong battle. And he wanted to fight. So Prophet ﷺ turned him away. He said, no, you're too young. And there was another one, 10 years old. He wanted to fight with Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Subhanallah. فَرَدَّهُمْ رَسُولُ اللَّهِ. Prophet ﷺ rejected. He turned him away. And now a young man, 13 years old, comes up. And he turned him again. Prophet ﷺ turned him. So he وقال, يا رسول الله إني رام والله لا أخطئ. He says, I am a good archer. I do not miss. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ tested him. He says, if it's true what you say, we'll take you on. And he tested him. He was true to his word. And he joined the army. 13 years old, man. 13 years old, akhi. Subhanallah. So another one now, another shab, he says, you let him join the army, and when I wrestle, I beat this one? He says, is it true? He says, it's true. He said, okay, now you can come and join us too. You know, these two, akhi, at the time of battle, even though they were young, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf radiallahu anhu arda, when he looked at his right and he looked at his left, he saw Bani Affan, these two young boys, but men in the true word, in the sense, and great in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says, I wish that I had older, older ones that would help me. Imagine. So, but when he saw what happened, even we're talking about another battle, but look at even the young ones, when they asked about, where's Abu Jahl? And what happened to him, and they went straight to him, it wasn't by age, it was the strength of Iman, and they wanted to, he said, now I'm comforted. Even though they were young, and he wished that he had some people in experience, but this is the case here with these two young men that wanted to join Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. And after this, of course, he said that Abu Dujana, this is a beautiful story. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ raised the sword. And he says, مَنْ يَأْخُذْ هَذَا السَّيْفِ بِحَقِّهِ, who will take the sword with its rights? So, among the greatest Sahaba stood up. Who stood first? Hamza radiallahu anhu. Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, Asadullah. This is the lion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the leader of martyrs, a great warrior. Hamza radiallahu anhu says, Ana ya Rasulullah, I will take it. So Prophet Muhammad sallam pulled it back. Then Hamza sat down. He says, مَنْ يَأْخُذْ هَذَا السَّيْفِ بِحَقِّهِ. Again he repeated the same sentence. Who will take the sword with its rightful owner? So Ali ibn Abi Talib radiallahu anhu stood up. He said, I will take the sword, O Messenger of Allah. Again Prophet sallam pulled the sword back. And then Prophet Muhammad sallam again declared, who will take the sword? Zubayr ibn al-Awwam radiallahu anhu stood up. And then Prophet sallam again, he put it back. And then he says, who will take the sword? Al-Miqdad. I want to let you know who these Sahaba are, akhi. When Amr ibn al-As asked Prophet Umar ibn Khattab for madad, increase of the army, he said, give me 8,000. He said, I will give you 4,000, and 4 men, they're equivalent to 4,000. You understand? 1 man is equivalent to 1,000, akhi. Do you understand what that means? Among them, Zubayr ibn al-Awwam. Among them, Al-Miqdad. It's amazing. 1 man is equivalent to 1,000 fighters. Among them, and these were turned down by Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. For whom? Yes. For Abu Jahl. Subhanallah. He actually, Abu Dujana, radiallahu anhu warda, he stood up. He says, وَمَا حَقِّ السَّيْفِ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَمَا حَقِّهِ. What is the rights of the sword? He says, and he said, Prophet ﷺ, he says that تُقَاتِلْ أَن تَضْرَبَ بِهِ حَتَّى يَعْوَجْ. He says, you take the sword and you strike with it till it gets bent out of shape. He says, أَنَا أَخُذْهُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ بِحَقِّهِ. I will take it with that right. So he took the sword, and he now has a red banner, and he places on his forehead. And he started to take that sword, got on his horse, and he started to boast. He started to strut. So the Sahaba looked at him and says, this is not allowed in Islam. You're boasting and strutting. This is nothing in vain. We're supposed to be humbled. But Prophet Muhammad says, this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger abhorred this type of walk. But not in this situation. So we understand when it's allowed and when it's not allowed. So my brothers and sisters, when you walk down the street, take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on the ground. So the youth says, I'm God's gift to women. And they're walking around, strutting, making sure that, hey, how's the hairdo? And how you doing? I'm this and that. Wallahi, akhi, relax. Take it easy, inshallah. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Furqan, among the attributes of Ibadur Rahman, الَّذِينَ يَمْشُونَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ هَوْنًا, the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, those who walk in humility on earth. Yes, akhi. Remember the grave. It says, you walk upon me now, but after a while you will come inside of me, and you will see what I'll do for you or to you. So take it easy, akhi. Inshallah. And ukhti. So, Abu Dujana took the sword. Now, there was Ka'b ibn Malik radiallahu anhu. He wanted to follow Abu Dujana, wanted to find out did he really take it just lip service, or did he really put his effort to take that sword with its rights. So one time Abu Dujana was fighting with another among the enemy, and he beat him. So now the enemy is fleeing, and now Abu Dujana catches up to him and he takes the sword, one shot down. What happened? He split them in half. The sword went straight down to the horse. So Abu Dujana takes off his helmet and looks back to Ka'b ibn Malik radiallahu anhu arda. He says, ماذا ترى يا كعب? What do you think, Ka'b? Good work? So he says, Wallahi, I would never be able to fight like Abu Dujana fought that day. So he did take it, and he fulfilled his promise. After this, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave a command to Rumah, the archers. This is the pivotal point of this whole battle. Please understand, my brothers and sisters, there is one lesson. We will leave you with one lesson, inshallah, of the Battle of Uhud. If we don't learn anything else, this would suffice. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told the Rumah that he wanted them to stay on the mountain and do not move. He repeated these commands. He says, do not leave your place. Even if you see us being beaten, don't leave your place. And if you see us victorious, do not come and celebrate with us. And if you see the army is over, the whole war is over, and we're walking around collecting booties, do not come and join us. And he repeated it a few times. Do not leave your post under any circumstance till I tell you to. So do not leave the post, even if you see us losing and you wanted to come and help us. Don't help us. If you see us victorious, don't come and celebrate with us. If the war is over and we're collecting bounties of war, spoils of war, don't even come and collect with us. Now, of course, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he gave Abdullah ibn Jubayr radiallahu anhu the lead on the Rumah, the archers of that, and it said 50 among them, and other narrations said 70 on the mountain. And of course, their job is to keep anyone to come around from behind the mountain. It would surprise the Muslim army from behind, or to be able to attack the Muslim army at any surprise position. So they were supposed to fight the enemies, and also to keep the Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anhu. He was not a Muslim then, but he had a platoon waiting, and he couldn't actually come around because of the archers. So the job was done. The job was to make sure that they fight from the above and keep the platoon of Khalid ibn Walid at bay. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ now, he said, after he's given it, the commands. The hadith is in Sahih Bukhari, actually. This command that we just narrated. The Nisa, the women, they started to actually give nanashid. They started to sing for them. And so on. These are the women of the other army. They actually said, if you beat them, we will come and hug you and caress you, and if you turn around and run away, we will leave you too, and so on. After that, of course, before the Ma'rakah, a man called Wahshi, radiallahu anhu, again was not a Muslim. Wahshi was a slave. The owner of the slave, Wahshi, he said, the only thing I want you to do, I want you to take Hamza. Kill Hamza. If you kill Hamza, you're a free man. So Wahshi says, when I came to this war, I had nothing in mind except Hamza. And he had his spear, and he was good. He aimed and he didn't miss. So all he was looking for is to get Hamza to get his freedom. There was a man called Abu Amir. Abu Amir, actually, he was known to be Abu Amir al-Rahib, the devoted servant, Abu Amir. Abu Amir was the one that was in Medina, actually. He was supposed to be the one crowned, being the king of Medina before the arrival of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the three tribes, the Jews, the Aus and Khazraj, agreed that he will be the leader. And they started actually to get the crown ready for him. And now Prophet ﷺ comes in declaring, and he had no choice. And now, of course, you understand how much he despises, hasha lillah, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. So what did he do? He started to dig holes. Even though he tried to get Prophet ﷺ to follow these, and we'll see what happened later on. And he used to be called Abu Amir Rahib, as we mentioned, but Prophet Muhammad ﷺ called Abu Amir al-Fasiq, the transgressor one, not the devoted servant. Of course, when he did this, he used to talk to the Aus wal Khazraj, meaning the Ansar. He used to be their leader. So he says, what are you doing with him? Come with me. He said, come with me, leave this man, come with me, and so on. He started to make sure that at least they leave him and come to join Abu Amr al-Fasiq. But Al-Aus wal-Khazraj, Al-Ansar, he says, what do you say, O enemy of Allah? هذا رسول الله, this is the messenger of Allah. He says, عجبا لَقَدْ أَسَابَ قَوْمِي مِنْ بَعْدِ سُوءٍ. What happened to you?